Ladies and gentlemen, it's always troublesome to interrupt such a great showing of the Sandstorm by Darude. But, as you can see, we're kind of a little bit back into things. The games have not started up yet, but the MVP was shown, and I think it's pretty safe to determine who it was in that last set.
Yeah, Diangoon on his Yasuo definitely deserved that MVP vote. And I mean, he was dueling with Wayless. And even despite the fact that Wayless, he obviously had pulled up the Diana as a pocket pick matchup for a Yasuo. They even let Diangoon's Yasuo go through despite how well he played it in the first game. Diangoon just took no prisoners. My alternative MVP would have been Zhenlong because his positioning in team fights was basically immaculate. But Diangoon just, especially his early roams, did so much for the side of Young Glory, and they really deserve. I mean, they deserve to get both of those wins. But despite only pulling off the split with LGD, Diangoon really deserves a lot of, heaps of praise for his performances tonight.
So as you can see, WE Academy with that 10% win rate, probably not a fantastic statistic, but they're looking to reassure themselves and end that today by upsetting OMG. The question is, how, if at all, is it possible for them to do it?
Yeah, so there's always the possibility that OMG might bring out some, interesting picks here. OMG is famous for being very innovative, especially in the jungle, and we'll have to see whether Drug, formerly known as Allen and Loveland, wants to bring out something interesting in this game. Now, Word Elite alternatively can use. And there's Khan right there. We'll talk about the new Korean additions to the Word Elite roster a little bit later. But Word Elite, when they were in the LSPL, their gameplay was predicated on extremely strong lanes, snowballing the rest of the game. So basically, they'd win within the first 25 minutes, and they just go take objective after objective after objective, and I think that might be their most favorable option right here because currently they don't in terms of strategy and being able to capitalize on enemy mistakes using a solid vision control, they're just not experienced yet. So really, I mean, the only way for World Elite Academy is up, and they need to do whatever they can, and that just might mean trying to win the standard lane matchups in this game.
We are going to definitely see how it goes for him, of course. But, now then. So, what we got, and apologies for the schmexy accent, I guess, but I'd imagine we're going to get started fairly soon. So, what do you think is going to be the target pick ban phase right now for WE Academy?
Yes, so they actually might decide to throw a lot of standard solo queue bans at Mickey God and hope that because his experience does come from solo queue, he won't be able to play, any champion proficiently outside of Lee Sin and Elise, even though, as Drexen pointed out in our talk show, the finger trap, Mickey's Elise wasn't that good. The other option would be to either run standard bans or to target ban Jie or Hanbalong, possibly Hanbalong, because of course this is a fairly unfamiliar environment for him. And Hanbalong's champion pool isn't the largest. Now, going back to OMG, I mean, they're the real deal. And I honestly don't see how OMG can lose this set. But every single member of this team has an incredibly large champion pool. They are very flexible with their playstyle, so they know how to bring out different kinds of compositions and use them in different ways as well. So I think basically OMG is close. As all of their members are kind of regaining focus as the season is, as we're approaching the midway point of the season. But every single member of this team really has the potential to reach superstar status. So I'm really interested to see the future of OMG and how well they do especially when playing games against teams like Edward Gaming and or Starhorn Road Club or Word Elite. The teams at the very top.
I'm gonna make a prediction, and it's
No,
for San
you're
Diego
not.
carry. I'm gonna do this. I think this first game, I think OMG is gonna pick San Kog'Maw, and it doesn't seem
Really?
like a bold prediction. It could possibly happen, but
Yeah, I mean, San. The thing is, San Kog'Maw is a champion that's it's the mechanical champion, right? So it's the champion that's nearly entirely based on positioning, and San's positioning is actually quite good. Now the question is whether he can survive lane as a Kog'Maw and whether he can put himself in good positions before the team fights actually start, because San's pre-team fight positioning is actually questionable, and that's the reason why San's Twitch was so popular, because Twitch's ambush utility allowed him to forego traditional positioning rules that withhold a lot of AD carries and allowed him to maximize his potential, with that rat-a-tat-tat, formerly known as spray and pray. I also want to talk about, just going over the players one by one. Go-Going is a really interesting player, because I had previously thought that Go-Going was a top 5 to 10, top 10, possibly top 5, top laner in the world, because that's how fiercely he was dominating the Chinese scene in the past split. But I think Go-Going, he performed okay at Worlds, didn't post the best performance. At the All-Star tournament, and didn't post the best performances. But he seemed to have slumped, especially in light of the new challenger Korra, who has claimed the top spot in the top lane position. So it'll be interesting to see whether he can reclaim his throne, or whether Go-Going will continue on this downward spiral that he seems to be sliding on. I guess another big point that you and I have to talk about would be the Koreans. And
Koreans.
yeah, I mean the Koreans are, and obviously World Elite Academy has 2 Korean players. Those are Hanbalong, formerly of, and Hanbalong means orange for those who don't know, formerly of Prime Optimus. He now goes by the now goes by the tag Khan, and Mickey God, a solo queue superstar from Korea. He just goes by Mickey now. So I never thought that. My first reaction when I saw this transfer was of slight dread, because I never thought that either Khan or Mickey were very good. They performed adequately in the games versus Young Glory, but they didn't really show why they deserved to be placed ahead of players, former superstars like Love A&J from World Elite Academy's, their former World Elite Academy's former jungler, who I believe is still on the bench. He didn't leave the team. He's still in the house. So Mickey and Khan have a lot to prove to show that they belong here, especially in a World Elite Academy team, in a World Elite organization that a lot of Chinese fans know and love.
So we see our bans already coming out here. It is Jarvan, Kale, and Twisted Fate. So targeting out Cool and Go-Going, very, very well done. Cassidin, Braum, and Annie, so they don't want UJ on any very 100% at-home pickup. So the first pick is going to be Lulu. And now, what is OMG going to do to match? Thresh was left open. We saw that ban universally in the last set. So also Lee Sin and Gragas, 2 champions that, of course, Drug and Go-Going, they both been playing a lot of recently. So Thresh is the lock. Lee Sin as well, going in the jungle to Drug. Now what does WEA do to match? They speak. So the Kazakhs. Will the Kazakhs be locked in? Nami as well. Pretty big potential pick for UJ. And I think that's his name. UJ.
Okay, yeah. So sorry, I had to change.
WB.
Yeah, I had to change my page because I was actually behind you. But now I think you and I are right on the same page, on the same minute. But so just to go really quickly through these picks. Lulu, first pick. It's a pick or ban. It's usually not banned, but it is a first pick rotation champion. Usually that goes out for the blue side, so a standard pick. Expect that to be a top Lulu. So OMG decides to pick the Lee Sin and the Thresh in response. Cloud's Lee Sin, Drug's Lee Sin, it isn't the best in China, but, Lee Sin is it's a high priority champion in Korea, in China, in the Asian regions where mechanical skill are very, have high value. So expect Drug to perform well on that champion. Wordly actually decides to grab Mickey, actually decides to put Khan on Jax, as well as Arl on the Nami. So basically what this does is it puts Jie on Lulu, and Jie's Lulu is just okay. It hasn't really impressed me, but more importantly, it puts Khan on that Jax. And now this is giving Khan a huge chance to carry right now and show that he does belong in the Chinese LPL. If that Rengar is locked in, then that statement is advanced even further because, as you and I both know, Rengar and Jax are champions that are very good when they get ahead. And so basically, World Elite Academy is putting the game onto the shoulders of Mickey and Khan and saying, you're the Korean imports. We'll let you take over for this one game. And now it looks like World Elite Academy have a complete late game team composition. On the other side, we did have first of all, the Thresh is a very good pick for Cloud. As I mentioned before, that's his best support. Lee Sin is a good pick. Gragas does do actually quite well just because of his nature as a spellcaster and the way he interacts in lane with Jax. Gragas would do quite well in the 1v1 matchup, so I'm interested to see that, even though Jax does have mobility that can possibly counter some of the things that Gragas does. And finally, they do decide to get the Ziggs and the Twitch, so this does look like OMG wants to possibly get a lane switch, especially since the Nami Kog'Maw lane is so strong. So I think OMG wants to get a lane switch, keep down that Jax, and then really try to, accomplish a lot at the first Dragon fight. That's really the kicker for OMG, because World Elite Academy have put themselves in a position to be extremely weak for the first 30 minutes of the game, but extremely strong from there onwards. So in order for OMG to avoid that situation, the solution is, of course, to win within the first 20 to 30 minutes. And to do that, they need to capitalize and bait World Elite Academy into fights, because they know that World Elite Academy, despite their early game disadvantages, will go into fights anyways. And that's part of, WEA's inexperience in the traditional, professional LPL setting.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so the picks of the comps all set in square. We're in the loading screen, about to get into this fantastic game. It'll be game one of the set of two between OMG and WE Academy. So I was close with my prediction. Kog'Maw was picked, but it was on to SMLZ, so I was close. But San is reverting, going with that Twitch pickup that he knows so well.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I actually, for those who don't know, I commentate the NLB, and I watched Prime Optimus. I've been watching Prime Optimus play. Both on and off the Nice Game TV channel, and Hanblog's Jax. I said it before and I said it again. Hanblog's Jax is only okay. It's not a. It's not. He plays it just as good as he plays his Shyvana, I guess. But again, they're really trying to give Hanblong and Mickey an opportunity to carry their World Elite Academy teammates here and not fall behind Young Glory in the standings. And just even if their opponents are the #1 team in China, you can bet that fans will be, fans are looking, like the Chinese fans are looking for an opportunity to attack these two Korean players. So, for their sake, I hope Khan and Mickey perform at least adequately in the face of these Chinese juggernauts that are OMG.
Ah, here it goes, ladies and gentlemen. We're on to the Rift.
Sir.
The game is underway. I'm kind of wondering what we could see on the early game strategies. I just want to clarify. What time are you at right now, Hebo?
I'm at 35 seconds.
Okay, 36. I just hit 36, 37.
Okay, yeah, 30. We're fine.
We're perfect this time around. It's fantastic.
So, and there's the pause. Okay, so I do, and in this pause, I would like to say, how grateful I am to be, casting this from our room, because I was thinking to myself, while in the bathroom, how bad must it be, particularly if for those who didn't watch OGN, there's a particularly long pause because the game had to be remade in the first game in the set between IM #2 and Samsung Blue, and how bad must it be if you have to go to the bathroom but you can't leave, what kind of torture must that be, Nick? Tell me.
No joke.
Tell me.
Oh, the torture. Well, it all began back in ancient Rome in the year 14 BC.
What?
What? Did I say ancient Rome? I meant ancient Greece.
I still don't follow you. Torture began in ancient Greece?
No, bathroom torture began with ancient Greece.
There's such a thing as bathroom torture? So basically, like, they don't allow you to, empty your bladders for, like... Wait, are you trolling me, Nick?
I've got to be trolling you. If I had any idea if there was a such thing as bathroom torture, I think I would be king of the world right now.
Oh my god. I can't believe you trolled me this hard, Nick.
It's all in love. All out of love.
I actually can't believe you mind gamed me this hard. Are you a member of the Copenhagen Wolves? Did you really think this early cheese would work against me? Anyway, so we do see this standard 1v1 fan. OMG does get the lane swap. I actually think that this works well for both teams. It's going to allow the side of World Elite Academy to have their lanes scale up a bit, and for OMG it's going to avoid potentially sticky situations in the bottom lane, because we all know how very strong the combination of Kog'Maw and Nami really is. I mean, that duo lane can destroy anybody. And also, given the fact that SMLZ is a AD carry that does shine in lane, and San does traditionally have some problems in the laning phase, I think this is good for... I think both teams are very happy with the way this played out. Now, it doesn't look like the duo lane, the double jungle of OMG will be able to get anything, but it does look like they're going to go to the opponent's blue buff, because they know that their duo lane is in the top lane, and this is a very, very much appropriate response. So they're going to be able to secure a 3-buff start for themselves. OMG looking very nice in the early game.
Very nice 3-buff swing right now. So give him up. Jungler taking it, making it happen. His red buff still available as well. So now they're going to set Mickey behind on that Rengar pick as well. Maybe they'll go for a big 4-man turret push at level 1 as well. I mean, Jack's just now recalling. He has his teleport. Will he use it to go top lane? I have no idea. Probably just going to walk it up there, but I mean, still on the top side of the jungle. It's pretty much all up in the air as to what OMG could do at this point.
Yeah, and then I just want to go back to, Nick, you usually, I guess you made a mistake for the first time in your life, but you usually offer me a matchup to watch.
Oh.
And I think I'm going to do it by myself. I don't know how you missed that, Nick. We should fire you.
Oh my
frankly.
God. I agree. I'm terrible.
You'll get your notice in the morning. But no, I really want to compare these top laners, because both Go-Going and Khan haven't looked that strong in their most recent games, and how they operate in this game has the potential to really swing this World Elite Academy OMG set. So I want to look at those two players.
Oh god, the Counter Strike is getting. That's a 2-man stun.
Okay, there's a creep right there. What's Go-Going doing? What is Go-Going? He's
chilling. Okay, so there's poison on them. Okay.
Yeah, they're waiting for the next. They're waiting for the next wave, and they're telegraphing this move really hard.
Yeah, WEA Academy though shoved up, so not gonna work out for them. They definitely turned it.
Cool
and GA 1v1. Who's gonna win it? Who's gonna win it? Cool.
Nice job, Cool.
Level 4, first blood over to Cool, and we said really just to the analyst desk, Cool was gonna be outplaying GA very, very hard, and definitely opens up pretty powerful.
Yeah, additionally, Go-Going is able, knowing that they weren't going to pull off the gank in the top lane, so for the first time in a Chinese person's life, they decided not to dive. Go-Going actually teleports to the bottom lane just in time to collect the minion wave that was dying to the turret. So very nice adaptations coming out from OMG, knowing that they couldn't exactly secure the greatest lead for themselves. And, Cool with just a really simple outplay. The thing is, like, Cool still has his flash as well, has his flash and didn't burn his heal, while GA burned both summoners. So, I mean, you saw how hard GA tried to make that one-on-one work, but Cool just simply showing why he was so qualified to replace Xiang as the starting mid laner for OMG.
Doing a fantastic job to start it off. We're only 5 minutes, 30 seconds in. And again, it is 1-0 in favor of OMG on that first blood. Solo lane kill by Cool, duking it out with GA. So now everything is going to kind of slow down a little bit. The junglers are kind of warding up, just taking away their own camps and all of that good stuff. This 2v1 lane setup, I mean, it's been pretty pushed on Go-Going. Both top laners are even on CS at this point in time. So CS is pretty close, 6 minutes in. No big deficits. Counter-Strike stun does land onto San. And now they're just going to trade a couple of auto attacks. Let it be. San actually gets the better of that trade. Has level advantage on Khan.
Additionally, San looks like he's pushing the wave, but San has full control of the wave, I think. So, again, OMG in a very nice position right here. They're playing an extremely clean game. So, and it looks like, yeah, and so, I mean, Cloud is roaming, just warding around the jungle, looking for picks. Cool is dominating the middle lane. Going has 13 farm to Khan's 11, so it's not a huge lead, but it still is a fairly solid lead. So I mean, OMG's rolling on all cylinders right now.
Indubitably. Cloud now attacking Khan a little bit. The stun lands. Not going to take it to full term. But even still. Lane's pushing up. SMLZ and Yushe definitely pushing up the lane a lot harder than their counterparts San and Cloud are even going for.
Yeah, and I mean, it does like I said before, it doesn't look like too much else will happen until OMG decides to push the wave into the turret and then go for the dragon. It looks like actually that San is going to freeze that wave. So what Cloud should do, yeah, and he's doing the right thing right now. He should roam to the bottom lane and make sure that he's always there to back up any of the solo laners or the junglers should they need Cloud's help. And when you have a lane frozen like that, rather than taking experience from your AD carry, it's better just to look for plays around the map. So Cloud is making the appropriate rotation in this situation.
Yep, just chilling it up. Jack's going back, so Khan going to be spending a little bit of gold. Started out with that crystalline flask, going double Dorans now, so has 6%. Wait, no, this is on 4-9, so no change to the Doran's blades yet, I do believe. And now potentially in pretty good shape. Drug taking some damage from Xie in the mid lane. Cool is heading over as well, and they want to go for this blue buff. They want to deny. This is going to be a 5-buff swing, ladies and gentlemen, if it does go through. So gets the smite, and that is a 5-buff swing right now for OMG. The red going to be up soon as well. It is only 1-0 kills, and Khan is trying to aggress upon OMG. They're trying to stranglehold him here, but OMG will back out with that 5-buff swing, and I love saying 5-buff swing.
Yeah, I mean, it's repeatedly been said before that buff control is a team game. And you really, when you're trying to control the opponent's buff, just look how 4 members of OMG all decided to go to the blue buff and really try to, ward off any potential skirmishes coming out from the side of World Elite Academy because OMG was on WEA's side of the map. So really good job from OMG. Additionally, they have the blue timer again. So, I mean, World Elite Academy does too, but OMG is going to be able to contest that buff again. And this is just this is just the start of OMG's stranglehold on this game. We said that OMG wanted to win this game within the first 30 minutes, and this is what it looks like they're going to do. And can Mickey posture for a nice gank right here.
He's definitely positioning, but Drug is kind of lurking in the depths as well, so Mickey will actually back off with all 6 of those bolas. But 9 minutes, 25 seconds, and no plays on Dragon being made yet. Both of these teams just kind of letting it flow. 500 gold in favor of OMG based on that first blood and the CS advantages that they have. The big one being in the mid lane, near a 30 CS advantage. Just approaching 20 now in favor of Cool. So definitely setting himself apart from Xie and doing a fantastic job in this lane. Kind of like predicted. Said he was going to have an MVP performance, and he's definitely not disappointed thus far.
I mean, and we might see a skirmish right here. Can Cloud pull Drug out?
Drug with the damage. But does get out for a little bit, flashing away. He's safe for the timing, making for the bomb. Xie, what just happened? Cool making the plays now. Khan the target in question. Summoner Hill being used up as well, but Nami comes in with the ebb and flow. Now Cool's the target in question. He is going to go down, but give it away to Yushe, and he picks up the first kill of the day right now for WE Academy. So give it to the support, not the worst trade ever, but even still. 1 for 1.
Yeah, and I'm surprised World Elite Academy is actually deciding not to go for the early dragon right now, because that is a very free objective because all of the members of OMG peeled off from that fight. And Khan actually burns his teleport to go to the top lane, so dragon is basically a non-factor for the side of World Elite Academy right there. Nice play from Cool to at least salvage a kill and make that a 2 for 1. No, that was a 1 for 1, because had Cool not played it like he did and had had Cool not played it like he did, I think it might have actually been a 2 for 0. So really nice play coming out of OMG's star mid laner.
Yep. And just with that, he made
yeah,
Shea burn both of his summoners.
Yeah, and honestly, despite the fact that, you know, the vision control wasn't adequate, this is the difference between a mid-tier team like LGD and a team like for the first place juggernaut OMG. You know, so LGD played a composition with Ziggs before. It was the first game, right? And what they did was that they actually didn't like Wayless. You know, not just Wayless, the whole team. In fact, they weren't very aggressive at all. And then, but when you have a Ziggs, and when you're facing a composition that does this one, the late game, you're supposed to be aggressive. You're supposed to go, you know, for the early dragons that they're going for right now. You're supposed to go for the early jungle evades and try to trade as much as possible. You're supposed to invade the enemy blue and red buff. So, OMG just showing, you know, really putting on a professional clinic right here and showing why they're considered the best in China. It's not necessarily because of their mechanics, even though that is top class as well. It's because of possibly fights like this.
Are you kidding me? Going, trying to just aggress upon Khan, wave clear a little bit, you know, use the explosive cask already, so guess a nice engage for him. Again, the first dragon went over to OMG now, escalating their gold lead to 1,400. Also waiting for a potential catch onto Yushe or SMLZ, but at this point in time, you know, extensive gold lead for them. Got dragon control, have objective control. Going gets baited in here, flashes out, and the stun is going to land. A jump from the bush, down for the count. And going is going to be falling down here. A kill to the top laner, and Khan picks it up. Now, Wild Growth being used up, but the Sonic Wave is there. Drug trying to slow him up. That is going to be a Contaminate coming in as well. But Inferno Bomb doing a good bit. Can they make it? Sonic Wave back again, and the Expunge is good enough. Rest in pepperonis, and that is going to be Shiak down for the count.
Again, we talk about aggressiveness. Always keeping the pedal to the metal. Look at the vision control coming out from the side of, you know, OMG. Despite the fact that we're only 13 minutes into the game, almost the entirety of Wordly's red side jungle is warded, and because the Gragas is dominating the matchup in the top lane, and they have the timers for the Wordly Academy's blue buff, they don't really need to ward that side of the jungle as much. You can see I think they're already going for a gank here just to grab even more control for the side of OMG. So again, really nice play coming out from OMG, and we might see a dive very soon. I think it looks like they're coming through the tower.
8 wards down for OMG into 4. A kick in the face. Khan trying to jump out. Will he make it a return kill? Doesn't look like it's going to happen on nice aggro juggling. He actually makes it out, but from the back, Sand comes in to secure the kill. 4-2 now. And then Mickey actually jumping in. Sand going to try to duke it out. Tidal Wave being used up. He is going to fall simply enough. Just sit back and accept his fate. Kill goes over to Kog'Maw and SMLZ. Yeah. So now it's 4-3.
Yeah, it was... OMG actually juggled the turret damage very well, but small mistake coming out from San. He actually should have gone with his teammates, despite, you know, he should have tanked a few turret hits for his life right there. He shouldn't have tried to recall there, especially if his ambush was down, because he had used it to sneak up onto Khan to get the kill. So OMG, you know, with the right idea, but a few mechanical or logical misplays here and there. I still think OMG is in a very good place. They're at a 1K goal lead at the 14.5-minute mark, and I think they're in a very good place to keep snowballing this lead. Again, the 15 to 16-minute dragon is really important here, and whoever wins that fight may just win the game.
So now gold leads drop below 1K. The duo lanes pushing up very, very far on to going. And you can see as Cloud is heading up in that general direction, we're going to have more solo mano-a-mano between Khan and San. So, Khan-san. Just a little bit fun to say there, but now it's cool. Taking out those Rays, going to try to advance CS. Mickey sitting on 6 bolas, but whatever stacks that Rengar uses, pretty much universally. Going, tanking a lot of damage, forced to back off on the top lane. Drug and San trying to push out the bottom lane, but Mickey's coming in from the backside, and they want to go in. San's going to actually get out of the stun. Drug is the target in question, kicks Mickey out for the count, and they're going to try to turn this. Can they make it happen? Sonic Wave misses, but even still, San trying to just book it away. Is he going to get the kill? Is the poison enough, ladies and gentlemen? I don't think it is. Oh, yeah. Wait. Wow, just barely.
Yeah, so really nice play from wow. I don't know how that resonating Sonic Wave missed, but really nice play from Son right there and Drug to know that they could turn the fight around, despite the fact that Mickey currently has 100% kill participation. So he has a lot of gold onto that Rengar. He already has the Magic's razors and the cooldown reduction boots, in addition to the 1 or 2 wards he's bought and placed around the map. So Mickey's looking very good. Con, not so much. There were a few times, for example, when OMG 5-man dived him in the top lane, he should have sensed that dive was coming and he should have just backed off. Still, both the Korean, our Korean imports playing fairly well so far, and it's fairly nice to see. The next is right. So the Dragon's coming up in about a minute and a half. So the next logical move for OMG will, of course, that's kind of funny that Mickey. Yeah. The next logical move for OMG will be to post up at that Dragon pit, make sure that they maintain ward control, and then try to bait a team fight. The question is, will World Elite Academy even bother contesting the Dragon, or will they just try to push out all their lanes in an effort to extend the game as far as it can go?
So now, 17 minutes in, it's what are we at? We were at a 5-buff swing, now it's a 6-buff swing. See how it turns out. It looks like Sand and Xie duking it out in the mid lane. Wild Growth is being used. Megan for bomb as well. That should easily be a kill if he can get in range for something. But it looks like actually Xie is going to stay alive, but that should pretty much ensure a potential Dragon.
Yeah, in 30 seconds. So it depends whether Xie can come back. But then OMG, you see right now, OMG is basically knowing that Xie is not a threat anymore. They can siege this mid lane turret. Additionally, they have full control. I think they have something like 5 wards in the enemy red side jungle. So they basically, with that move onto Xie, they basically ensured full control of the enemy jungle and made sure that they'll be able to get the second tier turret, mid lane turret, and possibly even a kill on SMLZ.
Oh man, SMZ got out of position. Explosive cast use Summer Heal though from the backside. Drug and kicks out Xie as well. He's going to try to get him with a passive, but it is definitely not going to go. Mickey down for the count courtesy of Cool, and he's just playing it rather nice. 6-3, a 2 for no engage right now for OMG. The Dragon's live, that's their target.
Yeah, with the jungler and AD carry down, you are very 100% correct, Mr. Yako. They are going to go for the Dragon. Drug has already started it. What a beautiful death sentence from Cloud. Cloud just, I think that he waited for a minion to move out of the way, and then he just unleashed that hook onto the side of, Cloud. But no, Cloud makes another nice play. He flashes in order to get the dark passage onto Go-Going to ensure Go-Going's survival in the face of Khan's Jax. And again, just really good play, spectacular play. Spectacular play, can come out from any single member of this OMG team, and in that situation, it was Cloud and Cool who really carried that team fight. Look at Cloud, just decides to turn around right here, sees a nice hook onto SMLZ, plays him into the box. Just what a nice play. Additionally, Go-Going actually gets an explosive cast to knock SMLZ into the wall, which allowed Drug to land that final resonating strike, then flash away from Khan's Counter-Strike in order to escape. Really beautiful play all around from the side of OMG. No deaths, and they're able to grab SMLZ and even put him even more behind on this Kog'Maw.
So now OMG have the lead on all accords, approaching the blue man group margins of cylinders. 20 minutes in, just about 19:30. They've got 4,000 gold in their favor, just about. WE Academy falling a little bit behind, going for that double Bork itemization. So double AP on the side of OMG. The question is, will this double AP stick, or will WEA kind of be able to bounce back as this game progresses?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about the double AP, but then there aren't really a lot of damage soakers on the side of World Elite Academy. I mean, just who's going to stand up, especially if they're fed at the 30-minute mark? Who's going to stand up to someone like Go-Going, someone like Drug? It's certainly not going to be Mickey, and it's certainly not going to be Khan, because Khan's still on his first. He still hasn't completed his first item, despite buying the Mercury shreds for minimal magic resist. So Go-Going gets another turret right here, manages to slow Khan down. I think that he might be able to grab this. Hopefully he will. Really, really nice play from all around. Go-Going knows that with his teleport up, he has, OMG has full control of the map, and you can see Cloud, Cloud knowing that they have control of the enemy jungle is trying to set up picks right now. So
Did get caught on the bush. Now actually Mickey jumping in. Cloud's getting caught, but the box is there for zoning. He's going to fall to Suivez. And now Mickey wants to aggress upon San as well, but he does cloak and run out of there. Explosive Cask actually knocks Suivez into going. And a kick in the face. Mickey's not back out. The Sonic Wave is still there. Sam wants this one hardcore. We can Inferno Bomb stack. Look at this CC and all the damage and good stuff. Going. Gonna barely make it out. Jump out. Not even going to happen. From the backside is SMLZ trying to make it go, but San is still chugging along full HP. Suivez is the target in question. Are these Bio-Arcane barrages going to make it? I'm just not questioning. Here we go. Sam with the cloak. Suivez is the target in question. Bouncy bomb lands. San trying to get some auto attacks off if he can with stealth. Jumps out. Just going to let it be, but 9-6. And then it is a 3 for 2.
That was a 3 for 3. No, it was a 3 for 3 because Cloud died with the initial catch. So Cloud tried to salvage that fight by getting the Dark Passage in. Unfortunately, he died before Cool could actually could grab the lantern, and I don't think Cool would have wanted to grab the lantern anyways. Cool with a nice little steal on the wraiths right there, and San with a bunch of lane farms. So despite kills going both ways for OMG and WEA, again, this fight is very much this game is very much in OMG's favor. And look how many ultimates were burned for the side of World Elite Academy for that fight. Like, just given the fact that World Elite Academy has little to no engage tools and CC besides the skills that come from Nami. I mean, San, knowing that almost the entirety of the cooldowns were burned onto Cloud's Thresh, San could just go in and wipe the entire team fight. I mean, really good, really nice heads-up play from San, knowing what his limits were and knowing that he could fight at that particular time with both the Aqua Prison, the Tidal Wave as from Nami, as well as the stealth from Mickey God having been burned.
So things chilling now a little bit. Usually gonna take down this pink in the jungle. So 4,000. OMG banging on it all. San now picking up another red buff for himself. And poor Mickey, he's just been, despite having all of his buffs taken away, still has a massive CS advantage over Drug in the jungle. And kind of 3 kills.
I mean, he's actually going for the Madstone. I think that's what it's called. I've actually never built it in solo queue, but the Madstone build is where you do get both of the jungle items. So his jungle clear and control is very, very fast right now. This is like one of those builds where you can start to think about like soloing Baron as a Rengar at the 30 to 35 minute mark. So really interesting that obviously we've mentioned before that Mickey is a solo queue jungler. So really interesting for him to bring out that particular those two particular items. Although to note, in the Madstone item path, you usually don't finish the second tier jungle item, the stone, basically. We might see another fight right here. Looks like what can Cloud do in this fight?
I don't know. The tidal wave basically lands on nothing. Wild Growth is pretty much there. Cool's caught out of position. He's getting jumped on as well. But over the backside is going. So zoning him a little bit out of there, trying to heal himself a little bit. Gets rooted to the ground. And still no casualties. Death Sentence lands onto Suivez. And that's going to be pretty much down for the count. Cloud. And now OMG is on the run, ladies and gentlemen. So trying to dig it out over the wall. Khan gets the stuns up. Going to get knocked out as well. But changed it around. He picks up one. And Drug's trying to go for the other. But Mikhail's Crucible saves Mickey. SMLZ over the backside. Cool stays alive and picks up the kill. No, he doesn't. What? Yeah, there it is from the back. Passive, why not? And then Drug. So even still, turns out to be a 3 for 2. And goes in favor of WEA, but the fight is not over. Cool and Drug are still in. Mickey wants to go and try to get Root. Picks up the kill. Looking for no Bob. Not going to be able to pick up any kills as well and be able to secure safety. So Cool's the lone member. Cloud comes up, but even still blinking health bars, and both of these teams just want to back off.
I wonder why he didn't activate that carpet skill, because if he had knocked up Mickey into the air, then he could have landed a really nice bouncing bomb to finish off the kill, especially given the fact that his cooldowns were really short with the blue and red buff onto Cool. So Cool possibly with a slight misplay, but I guess he knows better than I do. But World Elite Academy have done really well to bring this game fairly even. They're at a 3,000 gold lead. Again, we have to remember that World Elite Academy does have the composition that scales extremely well into the late game. So World Elite, if you're a member of WEA, you're just look at the 30-minute mark, 30-minute mark, 30-minute mark, 30-minute mark. You're waiting for the 3,000 to pass, and then you can start breathing sighs of relief because you know that you're fairly in the clear should OMG not be able to demand any more fights. But OMG might demand more fights and if this keeps going on.
Oh man, Drug got the dragon. Now Mickey's caught out and down for the count. So Drug picks up the dragon and the lone wolf.
Yeah, the sad thing about that was that Mickey gave up his life to go for the dragon, but then, and I guess he planned to flash out, but then what happened was that Cloud landed a beauty of a death sentence onto Mickey, which just completely wrecked him. And, you know, his life bar was shredded to 0. So another nice advantage for OMG, and they have a 5K gold lead in their favor at the 26-minute mark, which is pretty substantial. So if you're a member of OMG, you really want to be thinking about, you know, capitalizing on these small advantages. Your mid laner is 5-1-7. San has his Blade of the Rune King and Phantom Dancer completed. Your Gragas is very strong as well. I mean, you have a lot of things going for you. So right now it's about clearing waves and pushing the enemy turret.
So looking at CS advantages right now, basically mid and bottom lane, I want to get your kind of take. Which one's better? I mean, in the mid lane we have OMG with a strong CS lead, but in the bottom lane a pretty strong CS lead as well for SMLZ. So which would you rather be in this situation?
I mean, I honestly think, despite the fact that OMG is where they want to be in terms of having CS onto the member of their team that's going to carry them and the member of the team that's going to clear the most waves, I'd be very happy with where SMLZ is right now, because when SMLZ is getting fed, not only can he clear waves fairly efficiently, he can team fight like a monster. So should SMLZ get to that point in his Kog'Maw build, then, I mean, World Elite Academy will start getting more and more confident, especially, you know, as we mentioned before. Not only does SMLZ scale up, Nami's relevant into the late game. GA has incredible utility on that Lulu. Mickey's Rengar is going to be absolutely ferocious, and we don't need to say anything about that, about Khan's Jax. So, I mean, you know, World Elite Academy, I'd be feeling fairly confident if I were them. And right now, the ball is in OMG's court to make a move and try to end the game as quickly as possible, whether that means baiting Baron or just sieging as many turrets as they can.
Well, like you said, the ball is in their court, so going forward, it looks like they might just be heading in the direction of this Baron. And sitting out there at the top of the key, waiting in a brush. And does not look like WE Academy is going to pretty much fall for this. They're just going to keep clearing out. Pings are coming down, so OMG wants to try and bait this, but there is no ward coverage. Mickey actually using up his ultimate to try and spot him out, but no dice. So the gold lead is going to pretty much stay the same. OMG's now coming to the mid lane with a stealth on San. He's running in. Does he want to go? It does not look like so. OMG bait out the Rengar ultimate. That's definitely going to be good for them in the next engagement if that is not up. So now heading for the Baron. OMG going to start it up with 3 members, and it looks like WE Academy not going to go for it.
Yeah, and you're right on point about the Mickey ultimate, because now they can see Mickey if he comes in with that Rengar, because the Rengar does not have an ultimate on the Hunt ultimate right now. So what a fast Baron. And this might be another team fight now.
Death sentence again on UJ. Make Inferno Bomb. Look at UJ getting destroyed. Drug very, very low. San just kicking away 100%. Still full HP. Taking out SMLZ. Flashing in forward. Who's going to win the trade? It is going to be San, but the passive Death sentence lands. Mikhail's Crucible on a go going. And Mickey going to be caught between a rock and a wall, so he'll be falling down. Now it's Khan versus the world here, ladies and gentlemen. 1v4. Can he make something happen? And San down for the count. MVP performance right now by Cloud on that Thresh. 17-11. And that is an ace for 1. By OMG with a Baron in their favor.
What a nice death sentence to just that's just the icing on the cake. And you immediately knew when Khan and Mickey were not on San for the first 5 seconds of the fight, you knew that San was going to clean up. His positioning is way too good to let someone like GA or SMLZ out-duel him right now. San is an absolute monster. So they knew that Mickey couldn't get in, and then just a completely whiffed tidal wave. Yeah, that tidal wave didn't do anything. Additionally, Cloud was able to zone out 2 members of the team, 2 members of the enemy team. And at that point, you know, San was at full health, and since San was at full health at that point in the team fight, when there were only 2 members left and the entirety and 4 members of the OMG roster were left, they just knew that, you know, San was going to just finish the game. And I mean, Cloud, look at that, a beautiful death sentence right there.
I love how San flashes into SMLZ just to kill him.
Yeah, because I think he was afraid because Khan was making his way around the Baron pit, so he just wanted to put a little bit of distance between himself and Khan. Additionally, you know, I don't think that Son had to dance around the Icathian surprise as much as he did, but and it looks like, what is SMLZ doing? That might have been a slight bug.
Just firing it up though, man. So now we're 11,000 gold in favor of OMG. They're baroned up. They've got 18 to 11 on the kill spread, 40 seconds to Dragon, and pretty much they can do whatever they want. They've neglected every single blue buff from Mickey or Xie.
Yeah, I mean, OMG is complete. Look at the amount of wards, you know, and like they don't even have to ward their, you know, the river, just because every single lane, you know, the entire span of control for the side of OMG has just been pushed up so far. You know, there aren't really that many threats on the side of World Elite Academy that can, you know, that the members of OMG are scared of right now. Of course, there's always the fear that should OMG not be able to close or at least get some serious objectives, i.e. an inhibitor and or 1 or 2 turrets with this Baron buff, that World Elite might be able to keep wave clearing and try to, you know, last out for a win, but and let their champion scale. But I don't know if, you know, Cloud's gonna let that happen.
Definitely not trying to. Box comes down. Mickey is the target in question. Death Sentence gets dodged. Nicely done. So taking a lot of damage, but even still, the turret does go down. So it is 6-2. Dragon is live if OMG want to peel off and go back in that direction. But I mean, Cool is so big right now, Sand is so big right now, and they probably just want to keep on pushing the siege up a little bit more. They have a wave coming to complement, should be here in about 4 seconds, so stack it up on a go-going. The bubble go-going going to get stacked up on, still make it out by Flash, and now a turn of damage on a WE Academy. Wild Growth is being used up. Mega Inferno bomb, look at that one. Sand picks up the kill. Now Khan down for the count. This inhibitor turret going to be pressured. A 2-for-0 engagement. OMG looking to end this one maybe 33 minutes in. The inhibitor going down, and they pretty much want to end this if they can. So pressure it out. Mickey's the one there trying to make it happen, but even still, they're totally going in the paint for this. So now, turret's being pressured. Here we go. Bubble goes miss.
Those are 30-second death timers. I don't think they can fully end this game. Now that's another death timer for the side of World Elite Academy. I think that OMG is going to finish this game.
Hashtag KDA.
Yeah, what a clean game from OMG. Really, what a clean game. Knowing exactly what their composition does. We said that OMG would have to win within the first 30 minutes, and I think, you know, by the time that we reached the 25-minute mark, we knew he was going to win, and some shenanigans to end the game right here. But I don't think that yeah, I don't think that World Elite Academy can prolong their fate much longer. That Nexus is going to go down. GG, what a game.
Ladies and gentlemen, well played. OMG actually going to end up taking a 1-0 advantage in the set thus far. And the teams are going to switch trunks now, and OMG will move to the blue side, and we'll see if anything changes up there, how WE Academy will adapt. And I think 100% MVP performance goes to Cloud that game, no questions asked.
Yeah, I mean, I think San deserves, you know, a lot of spotlight too, and I expect the MVP performance to actually go to San just because he positioned so well, despite how well Cloud played. So, just a really nice performance from every single member of OMG, and I'm talking with my mouth full right now. So hopefully I can finish off what I'm eating, and then we'll see you in the next game. Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to cut to some music really quick while everything changes up, and OMG switches to blue, and then WE switches to red. So we're going to cut to some music, and we will be right back after this. I'm Tasty Nubbinz with Yubo, bringing this LPL action in English, brought to you by Games in Asia and Gosu Gamers. So music on, we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, it's always troublesome to interrupt such a great showing of the Sandstorm by Darude. But, as you can see, we're kind of a little bit back into things. The games have not started up yet, but the MVP was shown, and I think it's pretty safe to determine who it was in that last set.
Yeah, Diangoon on his Yasuo definitely deserved that MVP vote. And I mean, he was dueling with Wayless, and even despite the fact that Wayless, you know, he obviously had pulled up the Diana as a pocket pick matchup for a Yasuo. They even let Diangun's Yasuo go through, despite how well he played it in the first game. Diangun just took no prisoners. My alternative MVP would have been Zhenlong, because his positioning in team fights was basically immaculate. But Diangun just, especially his early roams, did so much for the side of Young Glory, and they really
Kog'Maw. And it doesn't seem like a bold prediction, it could possibly happen, but
yeah, I mean, San. The thing is, Kog'Maw is a champion that's it's the mechanical champion, right? So it's the champion that's nearly entirely based on positioning, and San's positioning is actually quite good. Now the question is whether he can survive lane as a Kog'Maw, and whether he can put himself in good positions before the team fights actually start, because San's pre-team fight positioning is actually questionable, and that's the reason why San's Twitch was so popular, because Twitch's ambush utility allowed him to forego traditional positioning rules that withhold a lot of AD carries, and allowed him to maximize his potential, with that rat-a-tat-tat, formerly known as spray and pray. I also want to talk about, just going over the players one by one. Go-Going is a really interesting player, because I had previously thought that Go-Going was a top 5 to 10, top 10, possibly top 5, top laner in the world, because that's how fiercely he was dominating the Chinese scene in the past split. But I think Go-Going, he performed okay at Worlds, didn't post the nits, and they just go take objective after objective after objective, and I think that might be their most favorable option right here, because currently they don't, in terms of strategy and being able to capitalize on enemy mistakes using a solid vision control, they're just not experienced yet. So really, I mean, the only way for World Elite Academy is up, and they need to do whatever they can, and that just might mean trying to win the standard lane matchups in this game.
We are going to definitely see how it goes for him, of course. But now then, so what we got. And apologies for the schmexy accent, I guess, but I'd imagine we're going to get started fairly soon. So what do you think is going to be the target pick ban phase right now for WE Academy?
So they actually might decide to throw a lot of standard solo queue bans at Mickey God, and hope that because his experience does come from solo queue, he won't be able to play any champion proficiently outside of Lee Sin and Elise, even though, as Drexen pointed out in our talk show, the finger trap, Mickey's Elise wasn't that good. They deserved to get both of those wins, but despite only pulling off the split with LGD, Diangun really deserves a lot of, heaps of praise for his performances tonight.
So as you can see, WE Academy with that 10% win rate. Probably not a fantastic statistic, but they're looking to reassure themselves and end that today by upsetting OMG. The question is, how, if at all, is it possible for them to do it?
Yeah, so there's always the possibility that OMG might bring out some, interesting picks here. OMG is famous for being very innovative, especially in the jungle, and we'll have to see whether Drug, formerly known as Alan and Loveland, wants to bring out something interesting in this game. Now, World Elite alternatively can use, and there's Khan right there. We'll talk about the new Korean additions to the World Elite roster a little bit later, but World Elite, when they were in the LSPL, their gameplay was predicated on extremely strong lanes, snowballing the rest of the game. So basically, they'd win within the first 25 minutes. The other option would be to either run standard bans or to target ban GA or Hanbalong, possibly Hanbalong, because of course this is a fairly unfamiliar environment for him, and Hanbalong's champion pool isn't the largest. Now, going back to OMG, I mean, they're the real deal, and I honestly don't see how OMG can lose this set, but just every single member of this team has an incredibly large champion pool. They are very flexible with their playstyle, so they know how to bring out different kinds of compositions and use them in different ways as well. So I think basically OMG is close. As all of their members are kind of regaining focus as the season is, as we're approaching the midway point of the season. But every single member of this team really has the potential to reach superstar status. So I'm really interested to see the future of OMG and how well they do, especially when playing games against teams like Edward Gaming or Starhorn Road Club or Word Elite. The teams at the very top.
I'm gonna make a prediction, and it's
for
Sandy
you're
and
not.
Carrie. I'm gonna do this. I think this first game, I think OMG is gonna pick San.